All right, so that one was like a major production and like definitely difficult to explain all the pieces or whatever. Like I say, a lot of generalizations or whatever. But there was one thing I wanted to say in that as well that I never got to. Two things maybe, but one thing that's pretty important. Like there's a sort of stereotype that Latins think that up here in the north, people from northern countries are like kind of cold and distant. We tend to think of Latins as like passionate, temperamental. Those are stereotypes, but there is like a little bit of truth to that, and I think that's like what I was saying about the boxes and non-boxes being in the game and being 100% in the game in the moment, and not thinking about okay, how can I get back to my domain of control. I feel like the Porteños and the Latins, I guess you could say, if we want to group them together, they are more in the moment, and so they are more passionate, they are more temperamental, and they think of us as being a bit more guarded or distant or cold, because I think that not all of us, but I think relative to them, we always do kind of have like a foot on the shore. Uh, we're not fully committed to the moment. We're always kind of thinking, okay, what do I got to do tomorrow? Blah blah blah. How do I get out of here if I need? To some percentage in our brain, we've got that worked in there. So yeah, I think those stereotypes have a basis. I wouldn't say they're 100% true for all cases. And obviously in Latin America, you have a difference between Argentina and other countries. One is there is in other parts of Argentina, but that, I wouldn't say that. The other thing, when I was talking about the cities, like in Kamloops, you can see the limit of the city. All my explorations of Buenos Aires, like taking the subways, taking the trains, walking around, my attempts to map it out, I think were like a futile attempt to literally put the city into a box so that I could define it. I would understood that's the limit of that. And like I said, you can't do that with Buenos Aires, really. It's just too massive. Anyway, on to the next one. So like loose ends to tie up before I left for Brazil. Like I said, there was like two major defeats that I suffered during my time in Argentina. One was like not unrequited love, but just like I thought maybe something magical could happen with this one girl, and it didn't. And then the other one was getting a no from Tbilisi in Georgia as far as getting hired for them midway through the 2018 school year. But other than that, there was a few little things that I felt like were telling me it was time to leave Argentina. I was ready to leave because I felt like I'd been in my routine too long and it's time to make a move. But like I guess one of the little things was like the financial situation. So I'm not going to go through all of it, but basically like I arrived to Argentina in like May of 2015. I moved into a new apartment in September of 2015, and I stayed there till the end of 2018. And I'm just going to put some numbers up on the screen for you. I'm probably not even going to try to talk you through this, but basically what happened was, in terms of my salary, it went up from 130 pesos per hour in 2015, only up to 270 pesos per hour by the end of 2018. So just a little bit over twice as much, which like in Canada we're like, what? Like your salary doubled in like but in Argentina there's massive inflation. So yeah, my salary like doubled and slightly over that. But my rent, for example, when I started was 4,500 pesos per month. By the time I finished, 11,000 pesos per month. So that's significantly more than doubling. And in terms of the US dollar, when I came to Argentina, the US dollar, there was like 9 pesos to the dollar. And that did kind of make its way up to around, I believe, the low 20s by 2017 or so. But then there was a massive switch in 2018, between March of 2018 and September of 2018, from like 20 to like 38 or 22 to 38. That was a huge jump. And our salary wasn't compensated for that or anything like that. In terms of like food or regular things, empanadas, they stayed pretty much even. Like when I got there, I think they were 6, and when I left, I think they were like 17. And that was a pretty consistent trajectory. Like it didn't have any major jumps. But so I basically felt like I wasn't making as much money relative to like the rent and other costs in Argentina. That wasn't my decision. That wasn't anything to do with my decision to leave, but it was sort of another factor that a lot of other people said, oh, you're leaving at the right time because the economy's falling apart. And for example, right now, there's, I think, 42 pesos to one US dollar. It peaked like a month ago at like 45. So you compare that to when I arrived, it was like 9. It's a big change in a couple of years, or 3 or 4 years, I guess you could say, a massive change. But that's typical for Argentina. Major inflation all the time. You look at probably 30% inflation per year, like minimum, and it depends on what's going on. So that's not one of my reasons to leave, but sort of makes sense. And then I'd also mention, like in terms of cell phone, I managed to not get my cell phone stolen, and like in Argentina, that's a very common occurrence. There's people I know, like Latin people, like Argentinian people, who've had like 2 cell phones stolen in a month. So like, I did pretty good. I had some little close encounters, but it was fine. But then in November, like literally like a month and a half before I left, I'm walking down Cordoba Street, and I'm on my cell phone. And everyone says at night or the day, never have your cell phone in your hand, like only when you go into a restaurant or something. But I never paid attention to that. I just made sure I was walking faster than anyone behind me. I'm walking down the street, it's night, it's main, like a giant street, not dangerous at all. I got my cell phone in my hand, and I heard a motorbike behind me. And that was like totally common to have motorbikes on the sidewalks because they deliver pizza. And in Latin America, like motorbikes basically don't have rules. They do whatever they want. There's millions of them everywhere. It's probably better for the environment, but it's not in boxes. It's just crazy. So I assumed the motorbike behind me was delivering a pizza or something, or no big deal, or parking on the sidewalk. I'm like, da 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 da. Motorbike pulls up beside me, guy reaches up and takes the cell phone out of my hand. And like, I was just kind of like in shock. Like, I know this happens. Those guys are called moto choros. They're like motorcycle robbers or whatever, right? It's quite common. But I was just kind of shocked. Like, I was like, what? And then like, by the time I put my head up to like look, he was maybe only like 10 meters in front of me. And it was like, he'd stopped for a moment on his bike to look at my phone, probably to see if it was even worth it, and actually wasn't. But at that point, I like realized what had happened. I was kind of like, I knew I couldn't catch him, but I was like, I have to chase him, because if I don't, I'm going to regret it. So I just gunned after him, and of course he took off on a motorbike, put like 50 meters on me in like half a second, because you know motorbikes go, right? But I saw like a red light up ahead, and I was like, yeah, I got him. Like, such an idiot. Like, a motorbike's going to stop at a red light. So I'm just gunning down the street trying to chase him. He makes a left, and I go after him again, but of course he's out of view, and I kept going to anyone I saw on a motorbike, like, did you see a guy? And they're like, yeah, I think you went. Like, definitely not getting my cell phone back. So that was sort of another sign, Argentina being like, hey, bro, time to go, time to go. So, I mean, whatever, I got another cell phone pretty quickly after that. It's not a big deal. Didn't cost me too much money or anything, but yeah, another like symbol, like time to go, time to go. So yeah, anyway, the last little bit there, like I said, I had to put my car into Uruguay for the last month that I was in Argentina. And it was funny, like, doing that, coming back to Argentina for the last month that I was there, while the car was in Uruguay. That was the first time I ever used the ferry to get from Uruguay to Buenos Aires. And typically for like expats, you're doing that within the first half year that you arrive, at least one or two times. I'd never done that before, so I was, you know, using the Boquebus ferry there. So that was just whatever. And then the year's wrapping up, everything's good. And like, it was one of the last days of class, probably the last day of class. And it was at night, we were done teaching, and I was leaving the staff room with Danny, the king of IH, I think. Maybe with Emma too, and I think it was like the last time I was going to be in the staff room, and we're closing up the school at night time, last time we were going to see the school there, and I like was in the staff room, and I just felt like, I mean, I went through a lot in Argentina, like I'm battling these videos, and you might be like, well, that's not a lot, but for me it was a lot. But like all of us being like expats, the teachers around my age and younger, like so much I know had gone on between us in the staff room, like awesome things, but so much like internal stuff have been going on in people's minds through those years in that staff room. And as well, the school was no longer going to use that building. They were moving to a different building, so that was the last time that staff room was going to see that type of environment again. And I remember like leaving and just being like, dude, I just want to like kiss the cupboards. I just want to like kiss the floor. And Danny's like, okay, weirdo. But like, I just felt like, wow, man, like this space has been the house of like so much during my time here, and the other people who work there as well, like just going through so much, you know. So yeah, that was interesting, like sort of a sense of, okay, I'm leaving this, and this was something that was like transformative moment for me, whatever. So that was pretty intense. But anyway, yeah, so these videos have been my attempt. I keep talking, I'm trying to get out of this box thing, you know what I mean? Like autopilot, ding, 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 ding. But like these videos, you know, it's funny because they're pretty much my attempt to put Buenos Aires into a box that I can like understand and like kind of like, I don't know about close the lid on it, because I really enjoyed my time there, but maybe close the lid on it and like move on to what's next so that I'm not still ruminating. Not that I really was over ruminating, but the video is definitely an attempt to kind of frame it, I guess you could say. So anyway, against what I want to do in life, my future developments, but my nature. So yeah, now we can get on to the Brazil videos. And that'll be much lighter, more interesting for everybody. Okay, cool. Ciao.